Hello, Original Soul. Welcome in to this Scorpio season reading. We're a couple days into the season as I'm recording this, so I thought we would do a Celtic cross and just see what type of energy might be around and about for you. All right, thanks for being here and showing up and bringing your energy. I did pull a rune before the cards. Let's see here if I can hold this up. All right, so this is an eye. And this is about insight, intuition, gut feelings, possibly even psychic abilities, paying attention to your dreams, maybe even seeing something in a new way with a new perspective, or kind of having your eyes like open to the reality of a situation. So just keeping that in mind, maybe as sort of an overall theme for the season. All right, so I've got all the cards out here with my Wizard Tarot deck. If we need to clarify anything, I decided to grab Witch's Tarot for that. So, all right, we'll get started here at the heart of the reading, Ten of Cups. So at the heart of the reading is emotional fulfillment, right? You're really seeking sort of that kind of dream life. What your heart wants, what your heart desires. There's a beautiful big pink lotus on this card, a rainbow in the background. This could have to do with family, relationship. While I was shuffling, the Three of Swords kept wanting to pop out. So again, there could be maybe some recovering from heartbreak, and maybe you, again, have sort of this dream vision for your life at the center of your mind. Right, so that's at the heart of this reading. Wanting your Ten of Cups, wanting emotional fulfillment. That's wonderful. Okay, let's see what is crossing you here. Choice. So we've got Seven of Cups here. Right, and this is something that can either help or maybe not help you. There could be a little bit of confusion going on too, or a little bit of, I don't want to say delusion, but with that kind of sight rune coming out, right? Maybe there's something that you just haven't been seeing clearly, or there's been a little confusion. This could even be focusing, I don't want to say on the wrong thing, because I think everything we go through and experience is meant for us and meant for us to learn something from. But let's say if this is about a person, right? Maybe you've got a person kind of up on a pedestal, or thinking that is your Ten of Cups person, that is your happiness, and you're maybe not seeing the situation clearly. Or you may have a lot of choice, and that can even create some confusion. Maybe you're not sure exactly what your Ten of Cups situation is. So let's see here. Out with the Seven of Cups came the Page of Cups. All right, so this could be something that's a little bit messy. I see he's got paint kind of all over his tunic here. What is that cat? I don't know. There's something going on with this bush in the background. There's lights around it. I can't tell if it's like starting on fire or what's happening there. So I don't know, burning bush is coming to mind, if that means anything to anyone, or I think there's a story maybe even in the Bible related to that. Okay, but back to sort of this choice with the Page of Cups. Maybe you're going out on a few dates. If this is a relationship situation for you, you could be meeting a bunch of different people. Definitely something with a more youthful perspective, and that could even be something where, you know, maybe you thought you wanted to be serious about someone or with somebody, and then you're kind of realizing or finding out there could even be some immaturity there as well. So that's just for some of you. This is also maybe even willing to let things be a little bit messy. I mean, there's paint all over the ground, paint all over his tunic, even paint in this cup he's holding here. Right, so maybe allowing things to not necessarily be in a perfect order. If you look at this Ten of Cups card, how all the cups are lined up perfectly, forming this sort of aisle to the big lotus in the middle. Right in here, this is just a little bit of chaos. So allowing yourself to have fun, allowing yourself to experience and to explore. And maybe, again, you could be meeting some new people. Maybe you've gone out with a few different people and you're not really sure which direction to go. If this is more a work-related situation for you, again, maybe you thought you had a specific path, a specific maybe career path or choice, and maybe you're finding either that's not quite what you thought it was, it's a little bit messier than you thought it was, and maybe there's some other choices presenting themselves that maybe even seem a little bit more fun, a little bit more youthful, a little bit more exciting. All right, let's see here. So coming into this reading, let's look at the past energy. Yeah, Two of Swords, as I was just talking about, all sorts of choice here. Two of Swords is also about choice. And this is about maybe you've moved forward in a way where you weren't really sure what to do. There could be kind of a lot of chatter or opinions of others coming into the equation. And you've maybe even had to kind of set that aside, or, you know, she's blindfolded herself here to really use some other senses. And, you know, it's kind of funny that she's got the blindfold when we were talking about sight, but remembering intuition isn't always just with what you see with your physical eyes, right? So maybe doing some meditation or, you know, changing something up where you can think about something in a different way. So I don't know if you've already made a choice or you're just struggling coming into this reading and into Scorpio season with that. Also, the Death card has been at the bottom twice now, and I've only used this twice. So some sort of change or transformation is definitely on its way or underway. And sometimes that can be a little bit unsettling. Again, especially if you thought you were going in a certain direction in a certain way, and that is changing a little bit here. So let's see. Yeah, so with Two of Swords, we've got Ace of Pentacles. All right, so this is choice about some sort of new opportunity, choice about a new path. Yeah. So I don't know if you've had to make any sort of decisions yet, or if that's something that's sort of brewing right now. But kind of underneath it all and at the root of the reading, right at the heart, you've got sort of your dream life, your goals, your emotional fulfillment. At the root of the reading here, we've got the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, you know, that can be about setting boundaries or having to defend yourself. Like I said, with this too, there could be kind of a lot of different opinions or thoughts or just other people maybe in the picture, creating some of that confusion, like I said, making the situation a little bit messy. And there could be a lot of options, or again, things sort of coming at you. But that also means you maybe have a lot of different opportunities at your disposal. All right, so Seven of Wands is about how you take action. Maybe, again, like I said, you sort of blindfolded yourself or kind of hold yourself in, and maybe you've turned your back a little bit to kind of whatever this energy is, whether it is, again, a little bit of chaos or different people coming at you from different directions. Maybe sort of facing out into the water, really using passion and drive as maybe the way that you're deciding or choosing. Right? Looking off into the horizon to really understand what would be emotionally fulfilling for you. Let's get another one here with the Seven of Wands. Yeah, the Fool. So as we were just talking about starting out on some sort of new path or new venture with this Ace of Pentacles, right? That's what the Fool is all about, but being a little bit more excited, especially if things have been really serious. Again, we've got both of these witches here are kind of standing at the precipice. at the edge of some sort of cliff, right? At the change of one scenery to another. I love how in this deck the Fool has, right, her arms up in the air, like she's just excited to go for it. And we've got these two birds here, which sometimes to me feels a little bit like chatter, or people sort of pecking at you. That's what I'm picking up on today anyway. And here, right, she's just let all of that go. She's ready to get on her broom, go forward with some sort of new opportunity. So again, there's a lot of choice energy here, a lot of opportunity, it feels like. And again, sometimes that can create confusion or can create a little uncertainty. It can also bring a lot of excitement. Like it seems like there is something new and exciting just over the edge of that cliff there waiting for you. So in your mindset, right? What's in your head right now? We've got the Page of Wands. We've got 2 sevens, 2 pages out here. All right, so letting yourself be guided, again, with your intuition or maybe even by the divine, depending on, if you connect with your higher self, or maybe you've got spirit guides or ancestors or something that you like to work with, right? Allowing that information to come through. But Page of Wands is all about being ready to take some sort of action. So again, there's something going on here for Scorpio season where you've got a choice to make. You've got some decisions. You maybe even have some options here. Page of Wands is a fiery energy, youthful. Maybe you're even worried about making sort of the wrong choice, or just something that is a little bit rash, or kind of moving forward too quickly. So that could be something that you're worried about a little bit, especially if this is something really different than you've experienced before. He's kind of got this sort of defensive mode. So there could be something you're a little bit unsure about. Again, this confusion energy has come up a little bit here. Wheel of Fortune was at the bottom as I was talking about divine guidance. And this is all happening in divine timing. Let's see here. We've got the Sun and the 3 of Cups. Look at both of these cards have kind of 3 different characters there. They all seem celebratory, dancing. All right, let's see what we've got here. Yeah, this is definitely something exciting, something where there's a lot of growth available to you and abundance. I'm also picking up, for whatever reason, sort of in this kind of night and day, right? So there could be sort of this night and day sort of change, right? Nighttime to daytime, and same thing here. We've got, so, maybe whatever this is that you're moving towards, or the choice that you make is just like a night and day difference, right? It's like totally different, brings a totally new vibe and energy into your life, into your experience. And this is going to allow you to be more creative. Maybe you're collaborating with some new people, some different people. But definitely, like I said, how she looks like she's celebrating and really excited, right? They've got their cups raised up. This could be something that transpires by the next full moon here. All right, and then moving into the future, so I was just talking about night and day, and the sun came out, and now we've got the moon. All right, so with the moon, this could be some hidden emotions or feelings coming up to the surface. Maybe even something you've pushed down or kept hidden. But there's definitely, again, like I just mentioned, maybe on the next full moon here, right? There's a big, beautiful full moon on this card. There could be something that you've been protecting, keeping down, or keeping hidden. Something that you've kept under a shell. And maybe that's now something that's coming out. Like I said, with this night and day difference, maybe you finally let your feelings flow. Maybe you finally acknowledge what those are. Maybe with this insight card, you start using you start using your intuition more instead of always only the practical, logical brain that I'm supposed to do this, supposed to do that. This is what makes sense, right? Letting that drive you a little bit more. With Five of Swords, that could cause a little bit of conflict, a little bit of stress, or even worry, right? There could be some people in your current life, like I said, maybe you've got sort of this chatter or all these people sort of coming at you with their opinions, what they want you to do. And this could cause a little bit of upset, especially if you are doing something totally different than you have, right? That may separate you from others or have you just going down a different path where, right, maybe certain people or relationships or even, if this is career for you, right, maybe that's just not aligning so much anymore. And that's not always easy to deal with and to move through, right? So there could be a little bit of stress or strife going on with what your true feelings are. Right? But at the bottom here with the Ten of Pentacles, right? Again, this is something that's leading you to more abundance, more fulfillment. Again, maybe what you thought was originally your dream and perfect life has changed. I mean, that happens as we grow, evolve, experience things, move forward. Right? Sometimes what once was working for us or what was once aligned shifts. Right? We all grow at different rates. We all grow into different areas and different things, and sometimes that keeps us cohesive and together, and other times that means that we need to find maybe a new group, right? New people to collaborate with, right? New experiences that we want to find. All right, so let's move on with the cross here. Up the path, so your internal environment, we got another page and the King of Cups. All right, so this King of Cups, I always feel like looks pretty despondent, right? He's almost like sinking down. I mean, look at how turbulent and stormy that water looks like. And he's in this stone chair, just sort of staring off into space, like letting it happen, right? But then with the Page of Cups, this is being more youthful, finding something new, finding something exciting. And we've got the Page of Cups out here twice, as I'm just realizing. I almost forgot I was using two different decks. I was like, how is this possible? Right, so like I said, you could go from being maybe feeling like you're chained or stuck to a certain person or a situation or a path like we've been talking about, and just really bringing in more of that youthful energy, being willing to experience something new, right? Not letting yourself sort of drown here in this storm. You don't have to sit there and take it. You don't have to stay stagnant with something that isn't working for you, right? You don't have to keep letting yourself just kind of sit through this storm as your emotions are secretly sort of raging, right? And you're just putting on maybe a good front or a good face, right? It's time to get excited again. Time to bring in more fun, youthfulness. All right, so that's sort of where you're at, is that pivot point. Like I said, kind of a night and day difference. You're ready to kind of break out of that stagnancy or that emotional subduing. All right, so let's look at external environment. Things are happening, the Magician. All right, so something's coming, something's manifesting. Right? This could even be stuff behind the scenes, like you may not even be aware yet, but even just this shift in your energy or this willingness to move out of, again, the stagnancy, the hurt, the confusion, all of that, right, is really putting things into motion. There's the Devil and the Five of Pentacles wanted to flip out there. Kind of shoved them back in the deck. I was like, no. Right? You're not ready to go back into toxic patterns with toxic people or toxic behaviors. You're not interested in staying in lack or negativity and doubt. Yeah, instead we've got the Emperor here. All right, so this is divine masculine energy. This is confident energy. I'm just looking at sort of these constellations here. For some of you, you could really be into astrology or just stargazing, Again, like I said at the beginning too, paying attention to your dreams. So noticing what comes up right at the nighttime. Again, we sort of have a lot of this day and night. It's just really standing out to me here in this reading. So you could be, drawing in some sort of stronger energy for yourself. You could be kind of coming into your own, or really, with the choices you make and the actions that you take, really just feeling confident and bold with that, knowing that what you're doing is the right thing for you. Right? For some of you, you could be even drawing in a new partner, someone who's really strong. Right? It could be even a masculine, if that resonates for you at all. But this is someone who's confident, who is protected. They do have a little bit of their armor on, but that's because of challenges and obstacles from the past. There's also a softer side. I'm just noticing right now we've got this emperor, but he's just petting that sweet cat in his lap. Let's see here. Let's get one more with this. Yeah, 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So like I said, this could be kind of a partner that's coming in. Yeah, this could be something that is surprising or shocking. I love the look on this witch's face. This is the Tower card here. So this could be something that completely surprises you, takes you off guard. You weren't really expecting it. But she's sort of got this little bit of a smirk on her face, right? So it's like all these choices and decisions that you have made are bringing this in. And again, it's shaking shit up a little bit. Like I said, not everybody's going to like it. You may even be a little bit uncomfortable through some of this. But again, you're really coming into your own, trusting yourself. Right? This could be feeling a little bit more whole with your masculine energy instead of maybe more scattered or unsure of yourself. Or again, it could be a new partner or person coming in. All right, and then in the hopes and fears, we've got King of Pentacles. So like I said, for some of you, this could be, a masculine coming towards you or coming in. Maybe that scares you a little bit. For others, this is, like I said, coming into your own, having some sort of abundance, right? Being sort of the emperor of your own kingdom. The King of Pentacles, this is about nurturing, abundance, even self-care, feeling really grounded. Okay, that seems like way too many. What do we get here? Especially after, right, this sort of despondentness, sort of pushing things down in a way. Maybe after this Tower and really coming to terms or to grips with what your actual feelings are and then taking action in that way. Right, you're sitting pretty here, feeling more confident, feeling grounded, feeling secure. Judgment, 5 of Wands, 3 of Swords, Page of Wands, Knight of Cups. We'll put those back because those were a lot of cards, but this could be some sort of wake-up call, especially with the Tower right before this. All right, so this could be sort of getting what you want, actually, which sometimes can be a little bit scary. All right, we got 2. That seems a little bit more reasonable. Let's see here. 10 of Wands and the Chariot. All right, so again, you could have been working at something or for something with someone, again, work, relationship, wherever this sits for you, for a really long time. And again, this may have started to feel more like a burden and just filled with lots of challenge, lots of hard work. All right, but it's time that that work is paying off. Now, whether that's because you stay with whatever this is, or you decide to go a totally different direction, right? That's up to you. Again, this all seems about choice. Look, this way or that, which way to go. Again, letting your intuition and your inner guidance, your gut feeling guide you here. With the Chariot, that is letting Spirit help guide you on the right way, the right path, and not really worrying necessarily right? Just because you've put in a lot of time and effort and worked really hard in a certain area or arena, if it's no longer aligned for you, right, at some point that becomes a waste of your energy and time. That becomes something that's more detrimental to you than helpful, right? So if that makes any sense for you and where you're at, right, just noticing if what you're putting all these wands into, right, is this really building what you want? Is this really working towards your happiness? Or is this something that you're doing and going through the motions, like I was saying earlier, because you're supposed to, because that's what, right, this person, and this person, and this person all said that I'm supposed to do, right? Is it because it's going to upset some people? Or is it because it's something that makes you really extremely happy and you're really excited about it? All right, so yeah, it seems like you're going to get what you want once you make those choices and go after it, which can be, again, really, really scary. All right, final outcome card here, 8 of Pentacles. All right, so like we were just talking about, right, this could be something that you put a lot of time, effort, and work into. You know, she's sitting here working on this really large pentacle, which looks an awful lot like the pentacle the King of Pentacles is holding here, right? So this, again, could be a new project, a new path, something that you are excited to put more of your time and energy to, right? Something that you've been waiting for. And again, this could be different than what you've done in the past. If you notice, all these pentacles look a little bit different. All right, so maybe you're in like a similar career path, but you take a job at a different company, right? Maybe you've been where you're at for a really long time, you know, 8 to 10 years or even more. Or same thing with a relationship. We talked about at the beginning, a lot of those kind of dating vibes or exploring maybe new people, new places, just new experiences, right? And now you've found something that you're excited to spend time on. You're excited. Excited? I don't think that's a word. Excited to work on, with the 7 of Cups here at the bottom of the deck, right? And that's, I think, the second time we've seen that one too, right? She's picking her heart. She's picking love. She's choosing that fulfillment. All right, let's see if we get one more or so with it. Yeah, with the 6 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And again, another full moon on this card. And this could mean that you're walking away from something. Choosing to go down a new path. Choosing to do something different. Right? Following a direction that you feel aligned with. And again, it looks like she's the third person on this broom. Like I said, so there may be other people involved in your new or current situation. And again, maybe you're moving into some sort of collaboration. Maybe you've got some new guides coming online that are helping you navigate whatever this is. But with the Hanged Man here, right, this may finally allow you to take a pause. It may allow you to kind of stay put for a while, right? Noticing how he's kind of chained himself to this broom in this tree. Right, so really being mindful of what do you want that to be, right? Do you want it to be something that is no longer bringing you joy and being kind of stuck in that atmosphere? Or is it going to be something new and exciting, right? That maybe shifts your perspective. Like I said, night and day difference, kind of flipping stuff upside down, just totally doing like a 180. Right? And then it's something, again, that you're willing to kind of stick with, that you're excited to put your energy into. All right, so this is what we've got here for the Scorpio reading. Like I said, choices definitely seem like they're available. But it seems like this season is really going to bring, right, some sort of excitement. And I know I've said it a bunch of times in this reading, right? But just something that brings this like night and day difference. Something that starts to bring more of that sun and joy and kind of shining your light into your environment versus maybe the challenge and strife, or just even being stuck or depressed. So again, choosing those things that fill you up, choosing something that you're excited to work on or put your energy towards. Again, whether it's a project, a person, your career, but really exciting stuff. And again, definitely, right, following your dreams. That was at the heart of the reading. And again, that's what this rune is all about, right? Trusting your insight, trusting your dreams, building up your faith in your intuition and your internal compass, right? And going after what you want, because, right, with this King of Pentacles here and the Magician, right, it's happening. It's ready for you. All right, so that's what we've got here for this Scorpio season reading. I hope there was something here for you. Until next time, peace.